It is really fun to live overseas. I hope you either had or will have a chance to travel to different countries and experience life outside your comfort zone, outside your language zone, or drive on the wrong side of the street. Life overseas is full of surprises. You always learn new things, you meet new people, and you talk funny too. I remember when I went to London for the first time in 1995 to study English. I was traveling on a subway every day to and from college, and my classmate, who also was Polish, one day were making fun of a man who was wearing really funny socks. They didn't go with his shoes and his outfit at all, so we were talking amongst ourselves how ridiculous these socks look. And then he looked up at us and said in Polish, "Oh really? Thank you for your opinion." I've learned not to presume that nobody speaks Polish when I am overseas, because Poles are like Jews, we are everywhere. Now, I want to tell you a story about my trip to Rome with two close friends of mine from Springfield. We went there for the last time in 2005. It was a couple, Kurt and Julie. And Julie was a very cosmopolitan woman. Kurt was not. Kurt was from Minnesota, and he really was not comfortable going to places where people don't speak English. He was out of his comfort zone. He's extremely talkative. He enjoys making friends. He doesn't ever meet a stranger, and being in Italy was paralyzing because he couldn't talk to people. He couldn't make new friends. It was very overwhelming experience for him to be in a place when he cannot speak. I remember one Wednesday we went to an audience with John Paul II, and now I know better, but then I thought I was courteous, so I let Kurt and Julie go and greet the Pope ahead of me, and they are both Presbyterians, so they are not Catholic, they know nothing about the Catholic etiquette and how to behave. So I pushed them ahead of me to greet the Pope, and Kurt comes to John Paul and shakes his hand and says, "God bless you, Holy Father," in English, of course. The Pope looked at him and said, "Oh, God bless you too, my child." Then, I think on the same evening, we went to a Forum Romanum, which is an area in Rome full of ancient ruins. There is nothing but pillars, columns, and it looks like abandoned old city from 2,000 or 3,000 years ago. And there are cats everywhere, big, fat cats. Tourists feed them all the time, so they grow enormous. If you saw my kitty, he would be the skinniest cat on the block. So Julie, who was very cat-friendly and has cats herself, was feeding the cats with leftovers of her pizza. The cats were in love with her, and they swamped to her like those crazy birds women in New York City. And she was covered with dozens and dozens of cats. They slowly began licking her fingers. They were very tamed by that point. So Julie stands up and says, "Well, I am in Rome, and I have been licked by cats, so I am Roman cat-licked now." But the funniest moment of my trip with Kurt and Julie was when we went to see the Pantheon temple. Pantheon is a place where all the ancient gods were worshipped together. Pantheon in Greek means all gods. So in front of the Pantheon Plaza in the corner, there is, guess what? McDonald's. And when Kurt saw McDonald's, he was in heaven. He finally saw a place that is American. He went straight to McDonald's, and he was really like a child in a candy store because he could place an order in English. They knew what he meant when he says, cheeseburger, please. The names were in English. The food was semi-American looking, so he was truly happy. We discovered that many other Americans from Minnesota and other places were in McDonald's as well. This was like a second home to them. They went there to speak English with each other. They went there to eat good American fattening food, not those strange tutti di mare or other Italian inventions. So we left Kurt behind in McDonald's for like 5 or 6 hours when we went shopping with Julie, and Kurt was extremely happy. He found a home away from home. He found a place that he can speak English, that he can eat American food and talk with other people who are like him, who think like him, who talk like him, and who eat good greasy burgers like him. Now, this experience of Roman McDonald came to me when I was reading today's passages from the Bible, especially the second reading from St. Paul to the Philippians. Paul says, our citizenship is in heaven. Our citizenship is not here, but in heaven. Paul explains to the early church that we are tourists here on this earth, that we do not belong here, that where we belong is heaven with God. And while on earth, we are just visitors. We are like Kurt going to Italy. We are out of place. We don't really speak the language of this world. We do not belong to this world. Our citizenship is not here. It's important for us as people of faith to understand that we are not of this earth, that there is more to our life than those 70, 80 years that we live on this planet. That our life will continue in our homeland. We are like those good old Minnesota tourists going to McDonald's to speak our own language. And what is our McDonald's on this side of life? Where we are right now. We come here because we meet other people who are from the same country. We come here because we meet other people who speak the same language of faith. We come here because we meet other people that have the same good heavenly values. And so we can be together at least for 1 or 2 hours a week, and then we go out to this strange world that is not ours. In the gospel passage, we see Jesus transformed, transfigured on the mountain Tabor, and Moses and Elijah were seen on his sides. A beautiful stained glass window to your right-hand side, this triptych right there, is exactly portraying the scene from today's gospel passage. Jesus Moses, Elijah, disciples sleeping on the ground. Peter, when he woke up, said to Jesus, "It's good that we are here. Let me set up 3 tents so we can settle here, so we can live here, you, Moses, and Elijah together with us." It never happened. Jesus doesn't allow Peter to build tents because Peter will learn that we are not meant to set up permanent living here and now. That what he experienced on this mountain of Tabor is only a foretaste of things to come. In some way, we as people of faith can speak of ourselves as Bedouins, people who are always on the go, people who are moving through life, people who do not build up tents to settle once and for all. We are on a journey in this country, in this life. We are citizens of a different kingdom. Yes, you may have your US passport, I have my Polish EU passport, but the one passport that truly matters is our citizenship in heaven. But it is good to find those McDonald's now and then. It is good to meet people who share your values. It is good to meet people who speak the same language of faith that you do. It is good to experience what Peter, John, and James experienced on the mountain of Tabor. They saw for a short moment what heaven, what our homeland will be like. And we come here to this McDonald's or to this tent to see Jesus transformed, transfigured, like on the mountain, Jesus is being transformed in front of us on this table every Sunday. This way we have also a foretaste of our homeland. We who are citizens on different kingdom, we who belong in heaven, gather here to experience what our country, what our homeland is all about. We come to celebrate our citizenship. It is not from here, but it is in heaven. Amen.